On this night that is destined to be sleepless, do you feel lonely and empty? Of course not. I'm surrounded by beautiful women. These are precisely the 108 female disciples I've raised. Do you have a bad appetite for eating on weekdays? Who made this demon beast put a jumping wall? Is this stuff for pigs to eat? At the same time, I'm also prone to anger. I'm choking a man. Is it too long a life of idleness? Do I have too much time on my hands? I'm also irritable. What brand of rubbish are you? What kind of rubbish are you? These are the typical symptoms of the rebirth syndrome. The host's last disciple has broken through the holy order. The only one system has been activated. My name is Night North. I snapped my eyes open, and it was the master of the 108 female demons. I raised my fists and felt my body. Dog system, you're too good at this. Once upon a time, I had unlimited scenery. 10,000 people looked up to me. All the auras here are pouring into this coffin. So could there be a treasure in here? Returning from rebirth, I heard the systems beep. The host's last disciple has broken through to the holy order. The only one system has been activated. A wave of information flooded into my mind. Am I being resurrected? I've been dead for a whole 300 years, and now I'm actually alive. Shit, you're too good at this. Dog system, I am a traveler. After experiencing many calamities, I finally activated the initial system and found my path to becoming an emperor. Accepting female disciples, the system prompted me that when I took in 108 disciples and made each one comprehend a complete Tao, I would be able to borrow the east wind in the right direction and change my destiny against the age. Unfortunately, until my lifespan is exhausted, I did not wait for the day to change the fate of the heaven, only because the disciples received is too much. Because all disciples break through to the same realm avenue has become. The host qualification will be in 3 minutes. Was against the heavens to change fate. I didn't think I'd finally wait for tea. By the way, system, can you tell me which disciple just broke through to the same realm today? I'd like to see which one of you disciples is that stupid. It actually took 300 years for him to break through to saint. The result shows that I can't tell you, and the system still has the right to privacy for its disciples. Then tell me, when was the second disciple to break through to the same realm? 230 years ago. Crap, doesn't that mean that if this last disciple becomes a saint earlier, then I won't be able to be resurrected earlier? Reversing the heavens and changing one's fate begins. Saintful disciple, after I change my destiny against the heavens, I will immediately go out to look for you, so that you can feel the love that is tea. Outside the Night Emperor's tomb, a bolt of lightning struck down, eventually causing the gate to be opened. The young man on the side then complimented, "Oddly is bullish, not bad for a late half-saint. Go, go, go. Let's quickly go in and take a look." Everyone scrambled to get inside. The door was slowly opened, a puff of smoke dissipated, and they couldn't wait to rush in, not knowing that death awaited them. The dragon's mouth was full of beads, and its eyes were glowing as if it were alive. Above the coffin, a bright light flashed, and beams of light kept pouring into the coffin. Finally, the coffin was revealed in front of everyone, shining brightly. Crap, it's champion wood. Such a large piece of champion wood. This is the best material for making top-grade saving spirit treasures and extreme magic weapons. This is too extravagant. All the aura here is pouring into this coffin. Could there be a treasure inside? Old man Lee on the side, cultivation strength half-saint. Let me open it. He casts his Taoist spells and presses one hand on the coffin. Give it to me. Open it. As a result, a coffin really opened, and my body was slowly seen by everyone. This young man looked at me with some incredulity. I'm going, is this man really dead? Why, I feel like he's full of life. Dead, definitely dead. This supreme demon emperor is said to be dying at the end of his great life. Someone must have put the supreme treasure into his mouth to keep his flesh so spiritual. Old man Lee had one hand in, and all he had to do was snap it out. Just as this hand was about to approach me, unbeknownst to him, the countdown to his death began, and I slowly opened my eyes. I had already been resurrected. How could I let them disturb me? The crowd immediately dodged away. I've been swindled. I was holding the coffin. Grave robbers. How dare you? What's funny is that they asked me, "Who are you? Why are you here?" This tomb was built for me. Who do you think I am? You are the supreme demon emperor. Impossible. The demon emperor died 300 years ago. Besides, how could the demon lord look like a fluttering boy? Old man Lee spoke up. He's definitely not. You guys feel his cultivation. It's just a little kid from the god condensation realm. The crowd then let go of their hearts. It's still true, and just broke through the god condensation realm not long ago. I left. I don't know what this group of people are confident about, pretending to be gods. Say, why are you here? Where's the treasure? Don't tell me. Then don't blame your grandpa. This man can't wait to die. Shout. You don't know what you're doing. You want to kill me with this strength? Goodbye, brat. The man rushed towards me with his sword. As a result, the crowd looked at us incredulously, not knowing what was happening, and I clamped the sword with 2 fingers. The man then reacted. How is this possible? I clearly just used my full strength. How could he? He was scared and tried to back away, but I was still holding the sword with a confident look on my face. Want to take it back? It was too late. I easily crushed the sword. One of my hands reached out to attack this man, with a green light emanating from my body. A piece of trash from the divine court realm is so eager to die. Is his life too long? Is he too impatient to live? The people on the side were shocked and couldn't believe this scene. This person said with difficulty, "What are you waiting for? Let's go together." Another person heard the plea for help, also rushed forward. Put him down for me. I lowered my head and smiled evilly. Who allowed you to yell in front of me? The man I was pinching was already screaming in agony, and I kept pinching him harder and harder. In the end, he was crushed alive by me. Not even a body, dissipating into the air. He even easily killed a late-stage divine court realm powerhouse with a single blow. You're still distracted at this hour. It seems you don't want to live either. I reached out with one hand. With a swish, his head was taken off, and his body was still standing there. A few people on the side. I remembered that this person was a late-stage divine court realm powerhouse. Right, he even killed him with a single blow with his hand. Just how strong he is. He was sweating with fear. I held his head and looked at the crowd. It's your turn next. This bald guy looked at half-sanely on the side. What should Elder Lee do next? As it turned out, there wasn't even a shadow of Elder Lee, and they realized that over here, half-sanely has already fled. What are you still waiting for? Quickly run. Compared to life, treasures are nothing. It's better to live first. He looked at me and saw that I was still in the same place, and it didn't look like he was going to come after me. As a result, his body lurched, and thunder and lightning flashed around him. And indeed, I didn't chase after him. I just stood there casting a formation and kept coming at Old Man Lee. And how could Old Man Lee escape? He was instantly struck by the thunder and lightning. And inside this hall, the surrounding golden dragons arched over my coffin. The formation rose instantly. Old Man Lee was lying on the ground. A formation? Why is there a formation here? Obviously, when I came in there was nothing. Could it be him? Then how strong is he? Half-saint, a saint, or a higher being? Old Man Lee had been too shocked to move. Could he really be the supreme demon emperor? And I walked slowly. I smiled contemptuously. Want to run? Can you escape? No one can escape in my formation. My lord, spare my life. I was only hired by them and did not mean to offend you or this place. Yes. I'm just a part-timer. It was all that man's idea, but what's the use of talking about it? The formation was activated, and the man was the first to be eroded by the formation. The others were slowly burned by the unknown flames, and finally disappeared into thin air. Old Man Lee looked at my tactics with disbelief. It was horrible. This must not be human. It's a ghost. My lord, spare my life. I won't dare to do it again. I'll take out everything, and beg your excellency not to kill me. Tell me, the man who built this tomb, where is he now? My lord, I really don't know which person built this mausoleum. I looked grimly at the old man on his knees. So what's the use of keeping you? My lord, although I don't know, but if I contact the Zhenghai Dark Division within Yuan'er City, they will definitely know. I paused at the sound of a name. Say it again. Who are you looking for? The Zhenghai Undercover Department. It's an intelligence organization founded by a mysterious man 200 years ago, and you can get information from them if you pay enough to be able to expand an intelligence organization to such an extent. It must be very hard work, according to Old Buster's life-threatening nature. What you want to know? My lord, they must know. I'm willing to lead the way for you to find them. I only beg you to let me live. As a result, when he finished speaking, the word gem flashed, and the old man frowned in place. In the end, his eyes were dazed, and he was dispersed by a mysterious force. I looked at the old man with only his clothes left. In my next life, don't be so greedy. System notification. Searching for lost disciples. For everyone you meet, you will receive a reward. I looked up to the sky and shouted, "Ha ha, now it's finally my turn to get a big reward. Disciples, wait, Master is coming for you." Then I walked out of the Night Empress tomb. Send someone to notify Lai Yushan. Tell her home is on fire. Come to me quickly. Also, tell the formation unit to get ready. This time, I'll let the whole world know that anyone who steals my master's tomb will be executed. Rank 36, the highest formation master in the Central Plains. Zhu Gufu. Everyone under me shouted yes and got ready to go. Don't worry, master. Zhu Gufu will do everything in my power to find an ancient immortal formation that can resurrect you. When I arrived at Yuan'er City, I heard vendors shouting about melon seeds, peanuts, instant noodles, bone touching, fortune telling, and past and present lives. I looked at the scene in the city. This Cloud Sail City is even more lively than before. Then I heard my stomach growl. I haven't eaten for hundreds of years. I'm so hungry. I bent my back breathlessly. Let's fill my stomach first before we get down to business. I went into the city to look for a restaurant. I took out the gold coins. Hey, little brother. By this time, the young man was already attracted by the gold coins in my hand. Which is the best restaurant in Yuan'er City? Sir, you must be joking. Of course it's the gold standard restaurant under the master chef's banner. Hai Shenlia Restaurant. Hai Shenlao. I looked curiously at the direction my brother was pointing, but I didn't believe him. Someone in the big hotel shouted, QQQ, everyone pay attention to the order. I looked at the hotel in horror. Hai Shenlao and McDonald's. Is it possible that I've traveled back to Earth? Little brother introduced the situation. Our Yuan'er City is so prosperous nowadays, all thanks to our chef lady. It's a pity that she is now in the same realm and seldom travels in the world. It is said that she is a beautiful woman. I wonder if I will have the chance to see her face in this life. My lord, having said that, do you want one of our new products that just came out? We have all kinds of sizes. The one of my disciples who is good at cooking. That must be Fan Xiaotong, who ranks 40th. Could it be your disciple? I would like to see how much weight the disciples and grandchildren you brought out have. The little brother behind me shouted at me. My lord Don Tigoa, my lord, I can give you a discount. Alas, I look at this menu. The dishes here are bland except for the Buddha jumping over the wall. I then heard the person behind me shouting, the old rules for the master. To serve a demon beast, Buddha jumps over the wall. Today, I'll treat you to beauties to the most famous dish here. Buddha jump. This is the equivalent of 10,000 gold coins. And no one in Yuan'er City can afford it, except for you. Both beauties praised to Mr. Pan. I hold out my finger. Give me a Buddha jumping wall as well. Okay, sir. The rule of this shop is to pay first before serving. Do you want to pay with spirit stones or gold coins? With that I threw out some spirit stones out on the table. The extra will be taken as a tip. The second in command looked at the table and saw a golden light in his eyes. What did I see? Just now, Mr. Penn ordered a demon beast Buddha jumping wall, and this man actually ordered one too. And he's even more generous than Prince Penn. He just threw out 5 spirit stones with his hand. Who is this young man? When Prince Penn heard this, he looked unhappy. At this time, the second waiter brought in the dishes. Mr. Penn, your demonic beast Buddha jumps over the wall. Please enjoy your meal. How is it? Not only is this dish full of color and flavor, but eating it will also enhance your cultivation. It smells so good. I can't stand it anymore. I also started to eat this dish. I wonder if this demon beast Buddha jumping wall is made with the same flavor as Fan Xiaotong's. While I was chewing my food, the beautiful girl on the side continued to say, Thank you, Mr. Pan. My slave is in Mr. Pan's good graces. And I slammed one hand on the table. This Buddha jumping wall was overturned by me, and the 2 beauties that Mr. Pan brought with him looked at me, not knowing what for. Who made this demon beast Buddha jumping wall? Is this stuff for pigs to eat? Duke Pan stood up. What are you talking about? You dirtbag. Can't you see that this Gonzi also ordered a Buddha jumping wall? Sir, don't talk to this bumpkin, Pan said to me with a proud face. Can you taste the flavor of the food? You old fool who has never seen the world. I naturally retaliated. TSK, this kind of unimpressive dishes can only fool idiots like you, who are stupid and have a lot of money. This time Duke Pen frowned. What did you say? Junior walked over. This customer. This dish was personally cooked by our Lord Chef. You see this? Call your master chef here. Duke Pen is fanning the flames. Yes, call your chef and let this old turd see the world. The chef came over. Hello guest. Even Duke Pen of the Red Sun Sect appreciates my dishes. May I ask if you have any comments? A mere brat at the early stage of the God condensation realm dares to question the signature dish of a chef at the late stage of the divine court realm. This is going to be a good show. The others were talking about how this person was crazy for daring to cause trouble at the sea deep fishing. After all, I've spent 5 spirit stones. I wouldn't dare to pretend to be a pussy. Chef Dong stood in front of me. Sir, please tell me. The ingredients for the soup of the Buddha jumps over the wall need to be pre-dried for 79 days. In order to stimulate the maximum flavor of the food, you replace this process with fresh ingredients. What qualifications do you have to be a chef? Hearing this, Dongyu realized that this is a master chef. Failed to roast the ribs without using martial fire. Failed to cook the fish glued badly. Failed to cook the abalone too long. The meat is too hard. The soup did not have enough fire to collect the. Dongyu was now flustered. This teenager's understanding of food was even deeper than the master's. I looked at this chef with stern eyes. You dare to say that this is your signature dish? A mere brat at the early stage of the god condensation realm. How dare you question the signature dish of a late stage, divine court mirror chef? This is going to be a good show. As a result, just after Duke Pan finished speaking, this chef knelt on the ground. You are the senior. Senior, I'm sorry for my ignorance. Please forgive me. And I looked over with a squint. This left eunuch Pan on the side dumbfounded. His jaw dropped in shock. Hesitation thunderbolts from the clear sky. He said your cooking was rubbish and you kowtowed to him. You don't have water in your brain. Elder's analysis is right. The demonic beast Buddha jumps over the wall. That I made is indeed rubbish. By admitting it, aren't you just proving in disguise that I love eating rubbish? Mr. Pan is furious. I also said intentionally or unintentionally. This can't be blamed on you. Maybe you're the kind of goods that only deserve to eat rubbish. What did you say? I said, a guy like you is only good for eating rubbish. Do you hear me clearly now? Duke Pan's face was full of anger, calm and scary. You're looking for death. His hands were already storing up fireballs. Then he attacked me, and I dodged it. Before he could react, my hand was in front of his face. Then his face was in close contact with the tabletop, and I didn't hesitate to press down on it. And this Mr. Pan hadn't even reacted to the fact that he had been defeated by me. I looked at him as if he was dead. What brand of rubbish are you? How dare you be so mad? The spectators on the side then said, my God, this teenager dares to mess with the genius of the Red Sun sect. This teenager is afraid that it doesn't want to live. Right. I thought you were so powerful, but this is all you've got. I'm looking at this rubbish. And she spat out the words with difficulty. Let go of me, or I'll make you look good. My eyes were glowing red. Yeah, I'd like to see what else you're capable of. And I threw him out with a clang. It's all over. This shop is in trouble with the Red Sun sect. Let's get out of here. Our lives are at stake. The flames on Pan's body are dissipating. He's been knocked out by me. I also walked out, looking at this dead look. Unbearable. Am I right? His cultivation of the first level of the condensed spirit realm defeated the late Tongchuan realm Prince Pan with a single move. Dongyu trembled behind him. Senior, you're in big trouble now. What are you afraid of? I only took away his cultivation. I didn't take his life. Dongyu is sweating from fear. His cultivation is ruined. It's better to die with this cultivation ruined. Elder, why don't I help you stall for a while, and you get out of the way? The Red Sun sect is the top force in Yuan'er City. The cultivation of several elders has reached the same realm, and the Patriarch even broke through to the Saint King realm 100 years ago. The Red Sun sect won't let you get away with scrapping their core disciple. Don't worry, I'll waste as many of them as I can. In the Red Sun sect, I'm so hungry, I still need to fill my stomach first. Dongyu thought in his heart, he has already offended the Red Sun sect, but he can still be so lighthearted. Where exactly is he? I asked to this Dongyu, wait, can you help me get in touch with your big boss? You're talking about the master chef, Lord Kitchen Lady. She's been traveling around in the clouds for nearly 100 years. The last time I saw her was 5 years ago. So does she usually not take care of these restaurants in Cloud Sai? Elder Knight, you're joking. Lord Kitchen Lady has given all these properties to her disciples to take care of. I huffed and puffed. I knew it wasn't that simple. How could the dog system be so kind as to give me a simple task? Do you know where the Brocade Secret Department of Yuan'er City is? Dongyu scratched his head. Jinyi Dark Department. What's that? A sect. Forget it. Go about your business. Besides, I'm counting on you for food and shelter for the next few days. And here in the Red Sun sect. What? You said when Han's cultivation has been ruined. Good for you, Fan Xiaotong. How dare you take action against a member of my Red Sun sect? Patriarch, calm down. The young master was injured by a young man with the appearance of only the first level of the God condensation realm, and he was able to disable when Han's cultivation in one mo. Now is the time when the third elder is leading the 13th and 14th squads to the Night Emperor's tomb to seize the treasure. It is not advisable to cause trouble. Please think twice. Patriarch. Good, okay. Then send someone to keep an eye on Hai Shinrao and the kid's movements. When the third elder's business is completed, I will definitely destroy that kid's bones and ashes. On the other side, a jade hand slammed the table in anger. This woman is just talking. I didn't expect that this group of brats would dare to steal the remains of the master. Lai Yushan, who is rank 20 and practices the way of architecture, said that her master's body is beyond the realm of body refinement, and that such a body would be useless to the general public. But if it's the Lord of the Holy Land, so what? Dare to steal master's remains, I will bring master back even if I have to fight for my life. Senior sister, wait. Zhuge Fu reminded me. Lai Yushan turned her head to look over, not knowing what was going on. Zhuge Fu had a grave look on his face. Someone had triggered the outer city's prohibitions and destroyed the formation. Lai Yushan carried her own weapon and came just in time. If we don't show them some colors, we really think this is our home. The third elder is mighty. Oh, my God. The third elder's formation mastery is unparalleled, and it only took a few seconds to break through the barrier. That's right, we'll definitely be able to obtain a large number of treasures this time. The third elder looked over in confusion. I've just made the preparations and haven't even started to break it yet. Why did it open? How dare you come to rob the tomb? Lai Yushan and Zhuge Fu walked out. The third elder of the Red Sun Sect turned his head and looked over. Not knowing who was talking, the third elder pointed at us. What are you pretending for? Don't you and I have the same goal? Leave the treasures behind and I will spare your lives. The two of them looked at them with murderous anger. Senior sister, leave a few alive. Just leave the one who talks too much. These two are clearly surrounded by so many divine court realm powerhouses. Instead of being afraid, they are showing murderous intent. In that case, don't blame us for bullying a weak woman. Make a move. The other disciples of the Red Sun Sect rushed towards me and my sister. Just as they were about to approach the sisters, small flames ignited around them. A spell formation appeared in front of Zhuge Fu's. The formation rose up, while Lai Yushan walked with her own sword. She walked step by step on top of the formation, and was not impressed. And the other people's feet flashed up the spell formation. They all looked at their own plus down. Zhuge Fu then said a hook. The pupils displayed the spell formation. Finally, the spell formation was like a giant mouth of the abyss, open wide and came at the crowd, and the people below were already terrified. Their eyes revealed despair. In the end, their heads were cut off by the spell and exploded. This useless third elder had already looked dumbfounded. His body was shaking in fear, not realizing that it was a soul regeneration formation. But he couldn't make it work at all. Then he could only helplessly inquire, what is the relationship between you girl and that soul-devouring demon? Why do you also know the soul regeneration formation? Zhuge Fu raised the flaming golden light in his hand and ignored what he said. And his Saturday paralyzed on the ground and raised his hand to stop. No, you can't kill me. And Zhuge Fu didn't perform soul locking, but soul probing, wanting to know his memories. Hand raised upwards, a huge eye in the back, a rate up. This useless third elder instantly dried up, as if his flesh and blood had been drained away. In the end, Lai Yushan swung his sword and cut this man to death. Having got the answer, Lai Yushan then looked at Zhuge Fu. Small Fu, so many years why you have not grown up. Your ability to steal memories can be much worse than the teacher's father back in the day. She turned her head and said, I can only look up to my master's realm. I'm just kidding. Let's go. Sister, let's set off to Yuan'er City, find the Red Sun Sect and settle the score. The two of us will leave here, this side of the big restaurant here. The house is emitting red light. I didn't realize that after only half a day, I've already broken through to the second level of the God condensation realm. I looked up to the sky and shouted, I am worthy of having the perfect qualification that can change my fate against the heavens. It's so cool. I don't know if I can break through to the divine consent. Suddenly there was a sound from outside. Look, what's that? I didn't expect to see such a thing in Yuan'er City. I opened the door. What's going on outside? Why is it so noisy? I heard that many people just saw that a mountain-sized ship flew through the air. I cupped my chin and thought about it. A ship that flies, the size of a mountain. Could it be that? Let's go. Let's go over and take a look too. Maybe that ship will even land in Yuan'er City. Don't you guessed? Senior, wait for me. I thought I only needed to lower my sprint speed to match Senior, but I didn't expect to almost lose him. Clearly in the afternoon, he only reached the first level of the condensed spirit realm. How this half a day time? It would not be so half a day. Senior broke through a realm. Right. I looked up at the sky. This is not Noah's Ark. Can't cause this. In addition to ranking 20 Lai Yushan, who else can there be? Wait a minute. Underneath the airship is the Red Sun Sect. It's not possible that this airship belongs to their sect. Is it? The Red Sun Sect. Let's go and take a look. The Noah's Ark was parked right in front of the Red Sun Sect. Lai Yushan walked out from inside. So you know you get out of here. Does this girl want to die? She dares to insult the Red Sun Sect's head, who has long since broken through to become a saint. How dare she mess with Yuan'er? I heard Lai Yushan speak. I've met her. I finally found my first disciple. And now it's nighttime, and there's still no sign of trouble, although I don't need to personally solve the Red Sun Sect. But how could Yushin clash with them? I didn't realize that the Red Sun Sect had reached out to the Night Emperor's tomb 13 times within these 2 years, and it's been more excessive than once. The disappearance of the Master's remains definitely has a lot to do with them. It just so happened that a person appeared. Who are you? Is the name of the sect master something you can call? The man in the red cloak is the Grand Master of the Red Sun Sect. It's the Red Sun Sect's Grand Elder. I heard that it just broke through to the 8th level of the Sage realm a while ago, and his sword path is even further advanced, and he can cut down mountains and are. Lai Yushin raised his middle finger. Don't be in such a hurry to die. It's not your turn yet. The Great Elder took the sword and struck, really rampant, without the slightest hesitation. But Lai Yushin looked at the man with a calm face. Just this. She hadn't even made a move. Then she saw an explosion go off, knocking the Great Elder back. The great monkey, that old man, flew backwards. This amazing might, no one except the Patriarch could resist it yet. At this time, a huge handprint appeared. Behind the handprint was Lai Yushin. Towards the Great Elder attacked. The Grand Elder's face was grave, gritting his teeth and watching. Could it be that she is a Saint King powerhouse? I'm afraid that fighting like this any longer will be extremely unfavorable to me. In an instant he slashed out more than 10 times. Another explosion rang out. It was so powerful that there was no way to resist it anymore. The Grand Elder could only retreat backwards. He could only run away. He couldn't fight. He couldn't fight at all. Lai Yushin's eyes were stern. Still want to run? Can you escape? It's not that easy. Lai Yushin raised her lightsaber and was about to give him one last blow. The Red Sun Sect's Grand Elder had escaped far before he looked over, his face confused. How can he escape? In the end, the blow landed, smashing out a huge crater. Debris flew in all directions. This Great Elder of the 8th level of the Sage Realm actually lost so miserably. What kind of god is that girl? And he's already gone to the west. Someone came out. I thought, who is so powerful to come to my Red Sun Sect to cause trouble? It turns out to be Fairy Yushin, the Divine Constructor. I wonder what the fairy is so angry about. Give me everything you stole from the Night Emperor's tomb. I'll let the others live. But you, Lai Yushin, have raised your sword and will be killed. You must die. The sword fell towards the Red Sun Sect Master. HMPH. This is the Red Sun Sect. Do you have the right to be arrogant? You want to take my life as a practitioner of the auxiliary way. You're afraid that you haven't woken up yet. The shockwaves of the two crashed together, their attacks constantly dispersing. Auxiliary way. It's a cultivator who enters the cultivation way with life skills, cooking, building, forging, medicine making, and so on. This sovereign storing up his attacks. If I obliterate you, a demonic cultivator, there should be a lot of people clapping their hands. Lai Yushin had a gloomy face. Oh really? Then you might as well give it a try. She raised her hand and pointed at the Noah's Ark above, targeting the Red Sun Sect. Undifferentiated. Attack! Instantly, countless sharp blades rushed out from inside the Noah's Ark and attacked towards the Red Sun Sect. Seeing this, the sect leader couldn't believe it. How could there be such a move? He was directly enraged. His hand gestured in front of his chest as it quickly rose in formation. The Red Sun Sect's disciples raised a defensive formation to resist the attack. At that moment, a huge vortex rose from the ground and attacked them. The Patriarch looked at the ground. How could this be? Devil cultivator. It's really a demonic cultivator. Run. If a flying sword comes towards us, we won't be able to withstand it. It's too scary. This isn't a spaceship. It's a giant killing machine. Donglu downstairs is trembling. Elder, why don't we run away too? Don't worry, we're in the middle of something. Let's take a look. The Patriarch on the other side shouted. Do you really think I'm a vegetarian? Let's do it. Yuan'er raised his hands and continued to raise his formation. In no time at all, a large sword was gathered above, with flashes of light around it. After the last word chop was said, this big sword came towards Lai Yushin, and Lai Yushin clenched her fists, preparing to resist the attack. She roared. A red light bubbled around her body, stimulating her potential. Even her chest shook with the shaking of her body with a duon sound. And as I watched from below, I accidentally laughed out loud. Zhenghai, what's so funny about that? Don't you think that battle suit is cool? And it was able to instantly avoid that terrifying combined sword chi. Well, it's very handsome, truly worthy of being my disciple. My face flushed slightly, not knowing what I was thinking about. Lai Yushin made her own attack. 2 beams of golden light came towards Yuan'er. These 2 beams of golden light instantly defeated them, and a loud scream was heard. And Yuan'er, who was not hit, he stored power in his hand and 8 trigrams array. At the same time, the array rose up. and Lai Yushan was then trapped by a chain, which was Su Yuan'er's attack. Oops, careless. Lai Yushan tried to break free, but it was useless. Lai Yushan, this is what you forced me to do. Su Yuan'er attacked with a blow. Oh no, it's over. Zhu Gafu on Noah's Ark shouted, Su Yuan'er, if you dare to harm my senior sister, I'll take your entire Red Sun sect and refine the formation. Zhu Gafu flew in to save his sister. It's Zhu Gafu. I didn't expect you, a devil cultivator, to be on the airship. I'll behead this Lai Yushan first, then I'll behead you as well. How dare you? Zhu Gafu shouted the word break and an arrow flew out. And when this sword met the chains, Lai Yushan screamed miserably and the chains kept tightening up. What? Zhu Gafu couldn't believe what was happening in front of him. How could it be useless? Su Yuan'er looked confident. You think you can break my sword path with your little ability? Zhu Gafu stretched out his hand and watched his sister move away from him, but he couldn't do anything about it. Su Yuan'er laughed out loud. All of you go to hell. With a wave of his hand, no one can harm them with me here. I right in front of Lai Yushan in an instant. I easily blocked the blow, and at the same time, the sword light turned and rushed towards the other side. Su Yuan'er looked on in disbelief. Blocked it. My strongest strike was blocked just like that, and he's still unharmed. This man, how on earth did this man do it? Lai Yushan was rescued by me. Zhu Gafu also flew over at this time. I stood in front of them. The two of them knelt down. Disciple Zhu Gafu pays homage to Master. Disciple Lai Yushan pays homage to Master. Don't be rude. You to finish this man first. Yes, sir, Master. That blow just now, although the body is dead, the spirit is still alive. Now, as long as the two of them go together, they will be able to take down the other party like a mountain. At this time, there were flames flickering around Su Yuan'er. This Yuan Shen was a bit different. The two of them looked at Su Yuan'er's condition. This was the aura of a great emperor. How can this be? I frowned as I watched Su Yuan'er's realm continue to climb. This seat is the Red Blood Emperor of the Stargaze Holy Land, and Yuan dared to kill my people. Now this seat gives you all a chance to cut yourselves, disqualify yourselves. Self-destruction. I think you're dreaming. Master is watching from behind. In this battle, I'd rather die than give in. It's okay to scare people with just a single god's mind. But do you really think you're here? What? The man who just blocked Su Yuan'er's amazing sword energy is only in the second level of the God condensation realm. That's impossible. He must have hidden his cultivation. The Red Blood Emperor continues to speak. What's wrong? Do you want to disobey this seat's orders? In the middle elemental region, I am the master of the Starry Flame Holy Land. Before he could finish his sentence, there was a bang, and the Red Blood Emperor's Yuan Shen could only continue to dissipate, without the slightest stoppage. At the same time, this strike didn't stop and rushed in one direction. The two were stunned by this scene, unable to believe the scene before them. I stood behind them and said, what a load of crap, and both of them looked back to see Starburst Holy Land. I'm powerless to settle the score from 300 years ago, but now, it's time to get it back with interest. And this blow broke through the void and came with a swoosh, passing by a continent, without the slightest stop, rushing towards his direction. This within the Great Hall. The Red Blood Emperor roared this. Damn it! There are even mole crickets that dare to rebel against me and challenge the majesty of the Stargaze Holy Land. Come on, people! As a result, he saw a golden light flashing above him, and a sword coming towards his head. What? How is that possible? This divine needle had clearly died with the doppelganger just now. Why is it still there? I heard a bang, and the red-blooded emperor was no longer moving. On the other hand, I smiled contemptuously. I already knew the result. Those who came to the Great Hall panicked. Great Emperor, what's wrong with you? Quickly go find the Saint of the Healing Way. Quickly go inform the other Great Emperors. This is what happened. The Flame Emperor came over. Back to the Flame Emperor. Just now, Red Blood Emperor was hit by a divine needle from nowhere, and it became like this. When Flame Emperor came to the front, Red Blood Emperor stammered out, Flame, second level of God Condensation Realm. Red, but he hasn't finished yet. Red Blood, you should finish. What God Condensation Realm? What does this have to do with the God Condensation Realm? Blaze started to take his pulse, and suddenly realized something was wrong. This isn't an external injury, but a serious one. How could he be so badly injured? If Red Blood hadn't learned the way of the soul, I'm afraid he'd have been killed by now. Who is it? Who is it? What kind of character did Red Blood offend? The people down here are all kneeling down. He even killed the shadow of the great Imperial Emperor with a single move, and he's also the master of these two. Master Teacher, disciples miss you so much. You finally gave up and came back to see us. They thought that Night North was just a divine thought. Master, don't worry. I have found an ancient immortal king's secret realm, and there must be an immortal ancient formation inside that can resurrect you. I'm looking at these two good disciples. Don't cry. If you keep crying, you won't be my beautiful disciples, yo. Little Poria, am I dreaming? Just now Master actually spoke to me. 300 years. I have waited for 300 years to finally see my master so close. Lai Yushin tugged at Zhu Gufu's clothes. Quick, you hit me. I flicked the two of them in the head. You two silly girls would not have thought that I was running out of energy and automatically dissipated my divine thoughts. Right. Lai Yushin immediately fell into tears. Is it really, Master? I crossed my waist and looked at the two of them. That's right. Master has been resurrected. Master has returned. Little porpoise, can you give me a moment? I was so scared that I was dreaming all this, and I've completed part of my system quest. And sure enough, the speed of absorbing aura has become nearly 10 times stronger. Then if I find a few more disciples, wouldn't it be possible to have 50, 100, or even more times the cultivation speed? But this increase of 100 years of cultivation disciple version, how does this reward work? It only requires the host to contact the disciple and distribute it by intention. So simple. Then is indirect contact okay? The system said yes, and I took out a glowing whip. Both of them looked over. It was the god striking whip. Master has really come to life. This is incredible. You guys, a formation master, an architect, and two auxiliary miscellaneous workers, still want to kill a sword cultivator of the same realm. You're going to heaven. 10 lashes each. No resistance. Both of you turn your arses towards me. I know my mistake. Please punish me, Master. With a wave of my hand, a whip fell. Zhu Gufu groaned as he was hit and leaned forward. Another whip fell. Lai Yushin also groaned and leaned forward. If I hadn't happened to be in Yuan'er City today, I'm afraid that these two silly girls might have been killed when they faced off against that Yuan'er. Zhu Gufu felt his body. What? My cultivation, actually in a violent surge. Could it be that the master? Hey, Zhu Gufu looked backwards. Master, what are you doing? Please, master teacher, take it back. We made a mistake. We can't accept such a reward. Not to mention that you've only just been resurrected. Please take it back quickly. Master has his own rules. You two accept your punishment without fear. Alright, get up. Thank you for your master's favor. The two of you fell into the air, constantly gasping for air and moaning with the sound of voices. Currently, we still have to find a few powerful disciples. Otherwise, the disciples of the auxiliary path will always be a bit lacking in attack power. Master, it's us who are useless. We didn't protect our senior sisters and junior sisters. Please punish us. I didn't realize that the culprit who caused the situation of their disintegration and separation was actually the 9 great sacred lands. Now that I'm back, let's settle all the scores one by one. Right, Master, I forgot to mention that Sister Taibai is also in the middle elemental region. Zhu Gufu immediately called out Sister, and Lai Yushin immediately shut her mouth. What's wrong with Taibai? However, I think that with a talent qualification like Taibai's, after 300 years have passed, she should be close to becoming an emperor. Right. After she broke through to half-emperor, she fought her way up to the Star Obsidian Holy Land, and no one saw what happened afterwards. Stargaze Holy Land. It's the Star Obsidian Holy Land again. Big White is now in the place above. Both of them got serious at this time. She is in the Wuya City. Taibai Sword Villa. I wanted you to stay here and stabilize your realms for 2 days, but now it seems unnecessary. We will leave for Wuya City immediately. 3 days later, on Noah's Ark, I am surrounded by aura. It took 3 days to break through 5 realms. That's a bit slow. The two of them heard what I said. Master started Versailles again. Ordinary people don't even see a breakthrough in one realm in 3 years. I clenched my fist. Very good. The next wave of energy directly break through the Tongjuan mirror. At that time, another batch of undercards can be unlocked. Noah's Ark continued to travel. A day later, I took out a coin, and Junior's eyes let out a golden light. Tell me everything you know about Taibai Sword Village. Guest, are you also planning to participate in the Tai Pack Sword Village's wine for martial arts? Wine fight. What does that mean? The owner of the Taibai Sword Villa has been injured for a long time. His strength is getting worse and worse. I heard that it doesn't have much left in his cultivation, so he spends his days drinking. Now it is even more to trade things for wine, scattered all the family wealth. You should know that during the heyday of Taibai Sword Villa, it was a marketplace, and a lot of swordsmen came from all. Lai Yushin immediately stood up and retorted, Nonsense. I foreseen your sister, but the words did not finish. The second was shocked. I called out to Shen Shan. Lai Yushin immediately sat her down. I'm sorry, Master, just now. I'm a reckless disciple. I don't know why Taibai was like that, but I'm the best at waking up. Taibai Sword Villa. Daytime. Crowds of people are gathered here at the entrance. Next, give me your wine. I took out a bottle of wine, and this butler noticed the bottle as well. Others around have been attracted to it, not to mention the wine inside. Just the bottle alone could sell for several spirit stones. Right, even the bottle is so nice looking. I guess the wine inside should be extraordinary as well. And the butler's eyes were already glowing, staring at the bottle. Drooling. Don't rush. I picked up the bottle again. Your Excellency, this wine is extremely precious. For the lord of the manor, 1 cup is enough. The steward picked up the wine cup. Oh, 1 cup. This is too stingy. Right. Just as he was smelling the aroma of this wine. It's also too damn aromatic. It would be worth it if I could have this sip of wine in this life. By the way, please ask the butler to bring more words to the banker. Of course. Please go ahead. The first line, but so that the lord of the manor can't be a drunken guest. I don't know where is his home. The second line, a poem, a bucket of wine, a lone psalm, and a sword to the end of the world. Liu is dressed as a girl. Master is so biased. Shunshin wants to drink too. Zhugafu also wants a sip. Yes. Let Fu have a taste. Just a sip. How about it? I'm wearing a lewd smile. If you guys keep this up, I'm going to be rude. Inside the main hall of this mountain villa, a woman is here dancing with her sword, performing her sword skills. And this woman is drinking. There are already many bottles on the floor. The woman walked up. Master, you've been drinking for so many days. It's time to stop. Yuan'er, you're still young. You don't understand. That sword technique you just practiced was okay, but you were too concerned with the form and didn't pay attention to the momentum. The body moves at will. The sword is one, subtle and subtle. Yuan'er then inquired of Master, is it because it's Master Ancestor's festival day in the past 2 days that you're like this? Master sidesteps his head. Yuan'er rests for a while and continues her sword practice. It's about time for my wine to come. Yuan'er frowns and can only respond helplessly. Yes, Master. The butler just happened to arrive at this time. Master Zhuan, the wine has arrived. The butler is carrying the wine I poured, and the aroma is already wafting out. The master was just about to say, why is there only 1 glass of wine this time? She suddenly stepped forward quickly and came to the butler. As if she realized something was wrong, she held the wine and smelled the aroma. This wine, it is an immortal product. Perhaps only drunkenness will allow me to see Master again. Master, my disciple misses you so much. Oh boy, is this wine also from the queue? Yes, Master Zhuan, that should be a son of a big family at the 7th level of the condensed spirit realm. And that person also asked me to bring you the sentences. The first sentences, but so that the banker can be a drunken guest, not knowing where is his homeland. And the wine cup in her hand suddenly dropped, as if she realized what it was, then holding the steward's shoulder. What is the second sentence? The second sentence is, a poem, a bucket of wine, a lone psalm, a sword in the sky. And she went on to ask, where is that man now? The butler was shocked. He was waiting at the door. What's wrong with the banker? What's the matter? But before he could finish his sentence, he was gone. The housekeeper looked at the banker flying so fast and was puzzled. What's going on? Zhugafu looked at me. Master, a 4th elder sister is here. Well, you guys are a little calm. Don't show your cracks. Liu agreed, and several people put on rabbit masks. She came to us and asked me, I ask you, that cup of wine just now, was it yours? Sure enough, this old for disheveled quite a bit. But even if you become a piece of scrap iron, my master will still sharpen you into a sharp sword today. She then continued to ask, those 2 lines of poetry were also uttered by you. It was also me. Hearing my affirmative answer, Tai Bai became a little excited and told me, who exactly told you those 2 verses? She then unleashed her sword intent, trying to scare us, the 3 of us, to calmly. Are you satisfied with the wine I gave you? Why do these 3 people give me an inexplicable sense of familiarity? Who the hell are you? I can tell you who I am in a moment, but let's finish exchanging wine for goods first. Good. Tai Bai readily agreed to it. No problem. This lord of the manor is very satisfied with your wine. Say it. What do you want? I am considered a sword cultivator. I would like to have the lord of the manor lower his cultivation to the same realm as me for a match. No matter what. No strength shall be restored until the contest. Good. I promise you. Tai Bai heard my reply and finally agreed to it. We came to the martial arts training ground. My time is limited. At most, I will accompany you to train until dusk. I took the sword. Tai Bai is self-conscious. Even took the initiative to reduce his cultivation to the 1st level of the condensed spirit realm. but it's good. It's more convenient to teach a lesson to this to people hugged together. Fourth senior sister. The sins of heaven can be forgiven, but self-inflicted sins cannot be lived. You're on your own. Let's begin. You better come up with your best swordsmanship, or you won't be able to hold me for 2 rounds. This pupil is really wild. Oh, yeah, well, watch out. I charged at her as fast as I could. I took a side position. I watched my movements. Going to surprise attack from the right side. She raises her hand. Unfortunately, you've been seen through by me, trying to slash down with her sword. However, how could I be hit by her? She had a stony face. What? Surprisingly, I came behind her in an instant, and she noticed my direction as well. I did a rising sword stance and raised my hand upwards. While Tai-Bai could only passively defend herself, I quickly stepped back again. You should have seen it coming before you swung, and I kept folding back around Tai-Bai, performing my own stance, so that she wouldn't know where I was. How is this possible? Tai-Bai looked at my stance and couldn't find where my person was at all. The last explosion ran out and my attack landed, and Tai-Bai was caught in the middle of being hit by my strike. One of her feet knelt on the ground, gasping for air. Master Zhuang, don't be gullible. In a life and death arena, being gullible is the #1 taboo. As expected, fourth senior sister lost in the first round. Yes, Master's power is not diminished. Tai-Bai stood up with a gloomy face. I underestimated you. Continue. Underestimated. I did underestimate you this time, but it won't be so easy next time. She held her sword in both hands. Green Lotus sword technique. Second stance. Stroke of God. The to look to Tai-Bai's sword technique. The Green Lotus sword technique. This was fourth senior sister's strongest sword technique. The Green Lotus sword chi conceals the body. If it doesn't come out, it will kill. I felt the sword momentum around me, still not moving, just waiting for her moves to fall. Then, with a casual chop, a sword attacked towards Tai-Bai, resisting Tai-Bai's attack, and at the same time, attack is the best defense. Sure enough, Tai-Bai was injured by my sword. She let out a scream and fell backwards. In the end, she landed chest first. Her body collapsed to the ground. While I was calm and collected, this was the inevitable result. I watched Tai-Bai sit up and asked her, Master Zhuang, why don't you raise your cultivation to the same level as me? However, Tai-Bai was furious. Was this a proper insult to me? Her face was horribly calm. With that, she leapt up. Green Lotus sword technique. Leather style. Green Lotus sword song. The result was that with just a wave of my hand, Tai-Bai's sword was sent flying by me, and her stance was even more ridiculous. She fell to her knees in despair. Once was an accident, twice was a coincidence. 3 times then, this teenager was extremely familiar with me, and even my swordsmanship. So familiar that every time I change my stance, every time I strike, he will be counted in. Who in the world is he? I looked at this disciple and responded to her. Who am I? Then I said, do it. Zhuge Fu on the side, then began to recite an incantation. And Tai-Bai also noticed the strange movement behind her. In an instant, a huge spell formation appeared above her head, and she was right in the middle of it. She immediately raised her hand to counterattack. Damn it! Surprisingly, she was counted. I want to escape from here. I felt my body. What? My cultivation is dropping by leaps and bounds. In the ranking heavenly ladder, her cultivation is dropping in crazy places. How is this possible? Then the spell formation was activated, and 3 auras flew towards her, trying to tighten her up. Damn it! Starting from delivering the wine, you dug a hole for me step by step. First, he used her verses to disturb my mind. Then he made me suppress my cultivation level, reduce my perception, and finally this spirit forbidden formation. Behind me, Zhenghai came over. Tai-Bai told her to go away. Don't come over. No, I will never allow anyone to harm you. Zhenghai flew towards us with her sword, but before she could reach me, she stopped and stared blankly ahead. At this time, Tai-Bai's eyes were red, shouting angrily at Zhenghai, and her body's aura continued to surge. I was a bit surprised to see her. She was on the verge of death, but still wanted to protect others first. It's useless. Today you all have to die. I swung my hand like this, and the blow rushed towards Tai-Bai. Tai-Bai was filled with anger, as if she was about to explode. You think that after sealing my cultivation, there is nothing I can do? She instantly struck. Both of our attacks collided. Stalemate. I don't know who will win. Wouldn't senior sister have gone a bit overboard? Why do I get the feeling that first senior sister is going to fight him to the death? No matter what, we must hold back and never make a move. Not long after, Tai-Bai's face was very scary, full of deadly aura, and a shadow had already gathered behind him. I instantly rushed towards Tai-Bai. She was still wondering. This person is obviously also sealed cultivation. Why his speed has not decreased but increased, even faster than just now. Then I disregarded the friendship between master and disciple, and raised my hand to build up my strength, ready to give her a final blow. The two fists collided together. The surrounding aura continued to rise, and Tai-Bai seemed to be unable to withstand it. I sidestepped and came behind Tai-Bai. She couldn't believe my speed. I threw an uppercut straight into her face, and she, unsurprisingly, was still thinking about how I'd done it. She ends up getting fucked over by me and keeps rolling backwards, not stopping at all. She's struggling to hold herself up. Why is it that this person, every single time, can go straight through my defenses with ease? Why is that? You think you're so powerful, you can't even protect the people around you. What qualifications do you have to fall and be decadent? And your master? Your master is to blame for what you've become. The culprit. Hearing these words, Tai-Bai was frowned in place, as if a bolt from the blue. She tried to attack, but I dodged the blow with a slight sidestep. Then I took a quick step backwards so she wouldn't really hit me. The blow actually sliced through the wall behind me, so I was lucky that my clothes only had a slit in it. Tai-Bai stood up, the aura around him rising. Insult anyone, not my master. Today, I will kill you. I looked at her and saw that it was almost done. Sword sharpening, hammering, recasting is complete. Next is the final step. Quenching, forming. Re-encountered apprentice increased by 1, rewarded with a Regulus Sword Intent Apprentice Edition. Extracted, Regulus Sword Intent. I heard a bang, the formation above me shattered, and I had Regulus Sword Intent in my hands. A large vortex continues to take shape as power continues to build up above Tai-Bai. On the other side of this then noticed, that direction seems to be Tai-Bai's sword village. Is there a supreme treasure born? That's right. This battle, it looks like the birth of a treasure. Finally, the vortex focused, and a sword appeared from within, and the sword came towards Tai-Bai. Tai-Bai looked at the sword above him. He was stupefied. He didn't know how to resist. His body was still in the same place, and I shouted out the word chop, and this sword intent fell, locking onto Tai-Bai. Yuan'er shouted anxiously at the sight of her sister, already crying out in worry, and Tai-Bai just happened to hear. No, I can't die now. I have to take care of Shen Shen. I must find my sisters and my master. In an instant, Tai-Bai's aura rose. Yuan'er even went forward to help, but was stopped by Zhou, and the few people just watched on. With a boom, the Yuan sword intent fell, and Tai-Bai didn't flee away. Yuan'er looks at her sister being attacked, so she's ready to draw her sword. Bad guys, I'm not done with you guys. She then charged straight towards Zhou. However, the sword didn't even touch her body before it was sent flying. Yuan'er's body was skewed. Her body could no longer stand, and she flung herself forward, and in front of her was Zhou's soft chest. There seemed to be no way to avoid it. In the end, Zhou's body swayed a little, and Yuan'er's face was pressed against her chest. This action, Zhou was not expecting this. While Yuan'er awkwardly did not move, then she immediately stepped back. Zhou asked her master awkwardly, while I was pinching my chin, looking at this grandson. A bit interesting. Yuan'er looked at me angrily. She didn't know what she should do. She couldn't run away. Your sister has been drinking all day long and shriveling up. Where has she put the division? Where has she put the way of the sword? I'm here to wake her up. In this world, if I don't take care of your sister, I'm afraid there's no one else who can take care of her. Yuan'er huffed and puffed. Who the hell was this person? The breath is so big. What the hell did you guys do to my sister? Is she going to be okay? Can't die. It would be a great creation for her if she could harness and absorb that sword intent. At this time, it just so happened that a group of people who saw the commotion on our side earlier flew over. Yuan'er looked at these people. The Lord of the Candle Dragon Villa, the Patriarch of the Changswen clan. There was the Patriarch of the Heavy Heavenly clan. All of these people were sinking realm P. Sister hasn't come to her senses yet. And that teenager, he doesn't care about us at all. These are all powerful bigwigs from Luoguan City. Yuan'er looked at me in shock. Your two Divine Court Realm henchmen aren't even enough for them to look at. How can you still be so clouded and not in a rush? Master Tai-Bai Zhuan seems to be refining some treasure. Nonsense. Why do you need to tell me that? She's risen from the 7th level of the Saint King Realm to half Emperor. My goodness, this speed of advancement is unprecedented. This must be a sword-out treasure. If I can get my hands on this treasure, I might be able to open the path to becoming an emperor. This thing, don't let her finish refining it before it's too late. Wait a minute, don't you want to die? Have you forgotten the weirdness of the Tai-Bai Sword Villa? Two men have stepped forward. Our master has suddenly comprehended the way of the sword. Anyone who dares to take another step forward is an enemy of our Tai-Bai Sword Villa. There will be consequences. And this man or master didn't listen to advice at all. You're a guy at the 5th level of the Divine Court Realm. How dare you be so rampant? You're not putting us in our eyes much. Lai Yushin raised one hand. I said, anyone who takes another step closer will suffer the consequences. And This huge handprint lunged towards this manor master. He could no longer dodge it. A poof was heard. Blood drifted away. Life and death disappeared. The palm didn't stop. It continued towards the crowd below. The others then panicked. This simply couldn't be a palm technique that a divine court realm cultivator could use. She had definitely concealed her cultivation. This person was truly strong and terrified. Lai Yushin awkwardly spoke to them. I was only going to tackle one, but I ended up not controlling it. Next time I will be careful. Oh, the group was very angry. What? Didn't control it well? Pay attention next time. You want to have a next time. And in this one, Yuan's sword intent. Tai Bai's cultivation continued to rise. Her body's aura continued to grow stronger and stronger. Both of them looked dumbfounded. She had actually raised her cultivation to the peak of a half-emperor. Such a character could already spend the entire day within the Woguan city with only one hand. Tai Bai's eyes flashed with golden light, finally absorbing all of the Zhuan Yuan's sword intent, achieving his current self. Yuan'er cried out anxiously for her sister, wanting to know how she was doing now, and Tai Bai slowly landed on the ground. Half-step Emperor's cultivation is the highest in the audience. She looked to the side of the Yuan'er. Fortunately, Shenshen is all right. Just landed on the ground and pointed her sword at me. I'll ask you one last time. Who the hell are you? And I slowly took off my mask. Tai Bai, master, it's too late. Tai Bai couldn't believe it. His body backed up. It was actually his master. It can't be. Master has been seated for 300 years, and you are in the 7th level of the condensed spirit realm. My master's qualifications. He can't even break through the refined body ray. I took out my whip and snapped it towards the ground. Tai Bai was dumbfounded and looked at the god striking whip in my hand. How could it be? 4th senior sister, long time no see. Congratulations on breaking your shackles and shedding your bones. 4th senior sister, a moment master teach you a lesson. We will not help. Oh, seeing these two, she immediately knelt on the ground. Disciple Chi Tai Bai, greetings to master. I came in front of her. Tai Bai, it's been hard on you all these years. With tears in the corners of her aggravated eyes, she raised a hand and called out to her master. Disciple, I finally expect you to come back. Be good, don't cry. If you keep on crying, master will be heartbroken. These few people finally realized that something was wrong. Master Tai Bai is calling that young man master. How powerful it must be. Emperor, we were wrong. The Chan Swing clan is willing to be affiliated with Lord Tai Bai from now on. Emperor, we're wrong too. We of the Heavy Heavenly clan are also willing. Shut up. Did you come here to drink tea inside my Tai Bai sword manor? These guys are already sweating. They don't know how to answer my question. I looked at them expressionlessly. What? You want to come in for a feast before you leave? Get lost. Yes, Emperor, we'll roll now. They scattered and fled the place. Tai Bai then asked me, Master, I have a favor to ask. I wonder if you can tell me. In 3 days' time, a secret realm thousands of kilometers away from here will open soon, and I would like to ask Master to take Yuan'er on a training trip. Then why don't you accompany her yourself? I'm afraid she'll rely on it, and I can also protect her secretly without having to show my face. Master, it's not that I don't want to go. Rather, it's that within this secret realm, it possesses the power of rules, and those whose cultivation realm is higher than the Tongjuan realm simply cannot. The Sindrop secret realm only opens once every 50 years, and 300 people can enter each time. The disciple had once made a hard breakthrough 100 years ago, and ended up in failure. There were 3 holy lands that placed extra importance on this secret realm. Each time it opened, they would take up a large number of slots and send some core disciples into it, but with a person as unrivaled and invincible as Master Teacher, going to one was still going, and bringing Yuan'er along to see the world wouldn't be a hindrance, and she can take care of people. I agreed. Good. I'll just take the little girl on a trip in 3 days. Tai Bai happily thanked his master, while Yuan'er on the side blushed red. Hey, sis, you sold me out just like that. Back inside the room, the system beeped. Congratulations to the host for reaching the Tongjuan realm in cultivation, and has now successfully unlocked 5 honor cards. The host can choose one of the base cards to refine directly. This small bolt of lightning was the legendary entry-level heavenly tribulation of the immortal cultivation realm, the 49 thunder tribulation. Although it was the lowest grade of the immortal cultivation world's thunder tribulation, when placed in this metaphysical world, its power was certainly not to be underestimated, and the upper part of the room is already covered with dark clouds. Even the house is going to fly up like. Several people were puzzled. Is this something that Master made? I don't know. This is the first time I've seen such a shocking scene. Finally, the lightning fell and landed in my room. Yuan'er pulled her sister. Look at our home. No harm done. There's still half of it left. Besides, your sister Yushin is here. She's a divine architect. The sky cleared up in no time. I shouted inside for Tai-Bai. To bring a piece of clothing for master. The two of them speculated about my condition. I'm afraid that because of the thunderbolt just now, I'm afraid that my master has no clothes to cover up. I think so. Tai-Bai brought me some clothes and pushed the door open without the slightest evasion. I'm still only wearing a piece of cloth to cover the most important part of my body. Seeing me like this, Tai-Bai's face turned red and he didn't dare to look at me. I looked at this good disciple. Why are you standing so far away? Are you afraid that I will eat you? And my heart is fantasizing. Come on, eat me. I will definitely not resist. Tai-Bai lowered her head, not daring to look at me, and slowly walked towards me. Master, here. She narrowed her eyes and handed me the clothes, still not daring to look up. I grabbed her hand. I haven't seen her for hundreds of years. Is Tai-Bai already so rusty with master? Then I took her hand and lunged in my direction, and Tai-Bai didn't resist. In the end, she fell directly on my body. I realized that something was wrong. Why is my chest soft? Finished. Accidentally too hard. To play big. How did it directly pounced over? The two men outside the door were just talking. Master, are you ready? Noah's Ark is ready for you. Tai-Bai immediately sat her up and sat her on my lap. I'm sorry, master. I didn't mean to do it. And her hips were still moving, not noticing anything at all. I was red in the face. Hey, don't move. My body is reacting. Finally, this last piece of cloth slipped off smoothly, and my faucet was forced to show itself. Tai-Bai also noticed and looked backward, his eyes unblinking. Then a loud yell was heard and both men looked over. The two quickly opened the door and shouted, "Senior sister," not knowing what was happening inside the room. The result is to see me standing alone naked, elder sister sitting on the floor. Both of them looked dumbfounded. Zhou was red in the face. "Senior sister, you guys." And Lai Yushin was all smiles. "So you were hiding in your room playing games, and didn't call us to join you?" Zhou pulls Lai Yushin away and prepares to leave. "Then you guys are busy first. We'll leave first. Lai Yushin still wants to play." I turned around. "Tai-Bai, you now go and inform the little girl that she should pack up and get ready to leave later." I held my forehead. Looks like I can't play like this next time. Otherwise the one who suffers is myself. Then they all came here to Noah's Ark in Zhenghai, and I were ready to leave as well. Tai-Bai's face is flushed. "Master, this is a space spirit treasure with some essentials for life inside. Tai-Bai has a heart. Then we'll leave first." I took Zhenghai onto Noah's Ark. After some time, we landed here in the forest secret area. Zhenghai looks around. This doesn't seem to be the entrance to the secret realm. Right. Well, because the next journey requires us to walk there. The secret realm is about to open here, especially in the air. The secret space is extremely unstable. If one is accidentally sucked into the spatial turbulence, that would be troublesome. I see. That's when a man saw us, and Zhenghai noticed it. Then I heard a voice behind me. "This young lady, are you alone? We are from the Tianqi sacred land. This place is in crisis. You guys can come with us to the Sindrop secret realm." Zhenghai immediately refused. "Thank you. No need. The two of us can just go there by ourselves." I looked at the people behind me and smiled slightly. "People from the Tianqi Holy Land. Very well. I haven't even begun to make my move yet, but you guys are taking the initiative to come to the door. This token is for you. After all, there is still at least half a day from here to the secret realm. If anyone comes after you, you'll be fine if you flash it out." Zhenghai wanted to continue refusing, so I just socked the token over to her. "Then thank you, Tianqi Holy Land, for your help." Zhenghai looked at me incredulously. The man could only respond awkwardly. "Where is this? The way of cultivation, solidarity, and mutual help are all desirable. Then I will take my leave and wish you to good luck, because there is no longer any need to stay." And as I watched them leave, I was thinking about something, waiting for my revenge.